My name's 𝗢𝗡 Pennington, and I am the counselor and coach of Momentum Coaching and Counselling Services. I started the business officially in 2018. In some ways kind of by accident. I sort of bookended the business. I was supporting a number of organizations in town and kept a small client load as a social worker predominantly and a coach. And eventually business was busy enough that it just kind of made sense to bookend it. And it's a real passion of mine, working with people, unlocking strengths, learning about them, helping people activate the strengths that they have within them to help them go to the next level or overcome challenges. And so that's really where, the business was born from, was that real passion around people. I've always been really interested in the stories of people and in the resilience of people. That's probably the thing that I'm most interested in, is how are we each resilient, and then how do we take that resilience, activate it, and help us grow and advance. And sometimes that takes a lot of work, and sometimes it comes naturally, but I've always been really interested in that. I went into like social work or social work studies out of high school, went into that. And it was a bit of a journey for me to get there, actually. It didn't come easily. We were talking about my ongoing interest in learning and education. As a kid, I grew up with a really severe learning disability. And I didn't even think I was going to make it through high school. I think most people didn't think I was going to make it through high school. But I did make it through high school, and then I went to college, and I did like an early childhood education program at the time. It was sort of like a feeder into university. So I finished that program, and then I went to UVic, and I went through the School of Human and Social Development and specialized in social work and counseling. And then it was just amazing that I completed that and had a degree and ended up working in social work and human services and health and counseling and wellness. And that actually was a pretty easy fit because I grew up in a really small community. I grew up in a community of 500 people. So when people say they grew up in a small town, I'm like, I might have you beat. 500 people is pretty small. You're related to almost everyone. And it's an Indigenous community in north central Saskatchewan. And there was a ton of social challenges in that community. I think I see that now more looking back than maybe I even did when I was living it. But it just sort of came naturally to work in social work and to work with rural, remote, northern communities and people who are in those situations. And the work was always super enriching and rewarding. And so I just made the natural transition from university into that space. And then I actually departed working in frontline social work and human services and went into the corporate sector, which I still maintain work in the corporate sector in a leadership capacity. And that's really rewarding as well.